Delta 1, Quito to Atlanta, Boeing 767-300ER. Hi, I'm Lori, a senior solo traveler, and I recently flew from Quito, Ecuador to Atlanta, Georgia on Delta 1. The plane was a Boeing 767-300ER, which is one of the older planes in their fleet. I was able to book this flight using an upgrade certificate, which saved me money. See the link in the description below for more information on these upgrade certificates. This will be a very brief overview of the flight experience. I arrived at the Quito airport about 3 hours before the 1 a.m. overnight flight. I buzzed through security quickly and then looked for a lounge. I wasn't sure what lounge to use, but I only saw one. It was a VIP Sala lounge, and I was approved to enter. At this time of night, it wasn't very crowded. There were plenty of comfortable seats spread throughout several rooms. There was a small buffet with hot and cold selections, including sandwiches, sushi, soup, and salad. There was also a drink station for you to serve yourself. Farther back into the space was a small bar with a few seats and a dessert station with several options. There were various kinds of seating, tables and chairs, and lounge seats to watch TV. I spent a comfortable 2 hours there before heading to the gate. The gate was a bit crowded when I arrived, but once they started boarding, it went quickly. Now let's talk about the Delta One cabin. This Boeing 767-300ER is set up in a 1-to-1 layout, so everyone has aisle access. This particular cabin offers less privacy than many of the Delta One cabin designs. However, to me, it feels more spacious in the leg area when sitting. The overhead bin space was quite small compared to the newer planes. I had to turn my standard size carry-on sideways in order for it to fit. And the middle bins were quite high and wouldn't fit many standard roller bags at all. When you enter the business class cabin, your seat looks like this, with slippers and a bag that contains a pillow and quilted blanket. There was an amenity kit, water bottle, and headphones on a small side table. Above the table are a reading light, an international outlet, a USB port, and the headphone jack. On the console is a panel with the seat controls and a button to release the tray table. Once you push the button, you lift a panel and grab a loop that lifts the tray table so you can drop it into place. It then opens and slides forward and back. The headphones were nice and comfortable. There is a remote control in a compartment to your side. The TV was small and a little clumsy to operate with either the remote or by pressing directly on the screen, but with a little persistence, it was manageable. The good news is Delta always has a plethora of movie and television options, as well as music, podcasts, games, and a flight tracker. The amenity kit came in a nice Masani cosmetic bag. It included socks, a sleep mask, a toothbrush, toothpaste, hand cream, lip balm, earplugs, and a pen. I was in seat 5D, which was the second to the last on the right side of the Delta One cabin. There were 3 windows I could access from my seat. There was a small little pocket on the side of the console where you could put the slippers. I was able to put my backpack in the cubby in front of me during takeoff and landing, and then I moved it into the cubicle opening once up in the air. It wasn't ideal for when I wanted to leave the cubicle, but at least there was a place to put it. The toilet room was quite small with no extra amenities, just soap and lotion. Before the flight attendants offered sparkling wine or orange juice. I was given a menu to choose an entree. Usually I pre-order when Delta sends an email a few days before the flight. However, I had changed to this flight last minute, so wasn't able to pre-order. They promptly started the meal service once up in the air. First we were served warm nuts and a drink. You could order a cocktail, beer, or wine from their list. Then they distributed our trays with salad, smoked salmon, and bread as side dishes. I ordered the mushroom ravioli as the entree, and it was tasty, although I didn't eat much of the dinner since it was late. Usually they serve a final dessert course, but since it was so late, they served dessert with the tray, which was a soursop and chocolate cheesecake. After dinner was cleared, I extended the seat into a bed. The pillow and quilt blanket were comfy. I'm 5'5", and when lying flat, I had about a foot of space below my feet. In this design, the feet narrow into a triangle, which isn't ideal, but you can still stretch out. The bed was somewhat narrow, only about 20 inches, but I'm a side sleeper, so it worked for me. I did manage to sleep for a few hours. They turned the lights low for the meal service and off throughout the rest of the flight, so you had to use your individual lights if you wanted to see anything within your cubicle. We arrived on time, so it was an uneventful and restful trip. Would I fly them again? Absolutely, especially if I was able to use an upgrade certificate. However, I have flown Delta One in newer planes, and the experience is certainly more elevated. As always, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments section, and check out the Senior Solo Travel website and Facebook forum where you can interact with other travelers. I have left links in the description below. And if you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Cheers!